Hi, welcome to my channel, Vlad's Politik. Today I have a short interview with a special guest. Well, let's say it's more I'm guest at his place, to be honest, and an intellectual friend of mine, Imam Kashif Virk. Would you like to present yourself a little bit, if you now speak about the Ahmadiyya Muslim community here in Stockholm? And your personal history, of course.
So my name is Kashif Virk. I'm an Imam of the Islam Ahmadiyya community here in Stockholm. I studied in Jamia Ahmadiyya, which is a Institute of Modern Languages and Theology, which is based in London. So that, of course, is for theologians within this community. So I'm serving in the Stockholm community right now, where we have about 300 members, or actually, it's grown from 3 to 400 now. So, but we have this small place in Spånga where we gather, and we work proactively with questions such as presenting the true picture of Islam to the Swedish society.
So, since there's a growing number of members in your community, it means that you are doing a good job, so let's say.
Well, actually, there are, yes, you can say so, but converts, there are few, but there are many people actually moving here. So that is the real reason for increasing members.
All right, interesting to hear that.
Mm.
And you personally were born in western part of Sweden, around Gothenburg area. So, how was it for you then to come to Stockholm?
Well, it was different, of course, but now I feel like home here. So there is a difference in the size, of course, and in the general atmosphere. But it feels good actually to be in Stockholm.
Interesting.
Mm.
Nice to hear that.
Mm.
And the main reason we are having this meeting, having this talk today, and to be honest, it's my first time I'm having like a talk with an imam that is played like recorded talk, and the main reason is what happened in Sweden 1 month ago when media outlets, media portals around the world started reporting that in Sweden there are riots and that it's related to far-right extremism, that it's related to immigration, to identity, to religion, to attempt to burn a Quran, to violence, to integration, and how to say, here I just wanted to ask you, what is your perception now, or what is your experience after all the riots? If you now speak how many people, not only in Sweden but around the world, have been reacting, because what I've seen in discussions, in how different media are reporting, especially those, let's say, more on the far right. So the communication is that it's not only about, let's say, Islamists, but it's also that the problem is, according to them, Muslims in general, that they somehow don't belong in Sweden or in Europe. So do you also have that kind of experience, and how do you respond to that?
Well, to burn the Holy Quran is a very disturbing act and a very provoking act as well. So I understand that feelings are hurt, but at the same time, we think that you should reply in a manner that is within the law. So the destruction we've seen is horrible and even worse than the act itself, perhaps, because they do it in some kind of defense of Islam, whereas it is not. So it is altogether a very sad story. We see one person who wants to create havoc and others who create havoc for him. But on the other hand, where it comes to the Holy Quran, so that gave us an opportunity to present its teachings, and that is what we focused on, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, to present the teachings of Islam to the general public. That if they knew what is in the book, perhaps they would not consider it such a good act to burn this scripture.
Yes, and many people are also wondering, like, how come that Quran as a holy book is seen as so sensitive? Would you say that it's about lack of knowledge, for example, among many people in Sweden, or is it just that Sweden is a very secular, let's say, not only a state but also very secular society in general? Would you say that many people simply do not have enough information or insights when it comes to Islam and Quran as a holy book?
Well, definitely. So that is our job as Imam to present that. But at the same time, when you believe in a multicultural society, that is a project we've had in Sweden. So you should work in order to increase the general understanding and tolerance toward each other. So we should find ways to do that rather than like this willfully provoke each other. So this is not creating a better society. And we should also discuss what the freedom of speech is intended to do. It is intended to create a better society where people can criticize and present their arguments. But to burn a scripture is a different thing, especially in this context where the politician himself wants to rid Sweden of Muslims. So this is only a way for him to express his hatred and to show his dislike for a certain religion.
And one of the things that you are doing in your everyday life is that you are participating in a public debate. You are writing articles in daily papers. They can be both, let's say, left-wing or right-wing. And you are presenting your arguments. You are presenting, let's say, you're conducting opinion making. Would you say that you have been able to make a difference, let's say, during the last 5 or 10 years? Have you received more positive response?
Well, different. I think many people are realizing that there is one voice within Islam who is taking part in the general debate, and that is positive. But I don't know if I've been able to change somebody's mind. I cannot say. The situation, however, is getting worse because the tensions, the split in society is increasing. So the solution has to be from elsewhere also. This is just a humble effort. I hope that more imams, more Muslims come forward and have a constructive debate, and that they adopt this progressive style where they actually use the same mediums and present their ideas rather than saying that we are not being justly treated. Well, you have to make your own platform and present your ideas. That is what we need to do.
So speaking about divisions in the society in Sweden, speaking about different social problems, speaking about the recent violence, how is your community, I mean your organization, contributing to solve these problems, or how to say, to handle them in everyday life? If you now speak, for example, about certain parts of Stockholm like Rinkeby that are usually described as socially exposed or socially vulnerable, or that there are many social problems, crime in those areas, how is your organization contributing to improving things in local communities, participating in civil society and cooperating with others who also want to just create tolerant, meaningful, how to say, environments where they are living?
Well, within our resources, what we can do is only to have good dialogue and conversation in these communities with other actors, and together try to change the atmosphere. So other than that, we have had a campaign for a couple of years ago named Stoppa Krisen, that is to spread information about the peaceful teachings of Islam, so that people are being made aware of that Islam does not teach violence and jihad. So that was a huge campaign we had, and we informed people about the peaceful teachings of Islam. And that is what we do in every day also. We have this Ask a Muslim campaign where we give people the opportunity to ask questions of Islam. Even Muslims and non-Muslims both can ask.
So this is one of the, I would say this is the most famous campaign that you are doing, like on weekly or monthly basis. what are the most common questions you're receiving? If you would now, let's say, have to choose like 3 questions that are the most common ones, which one are those that you are receiving on your campaigning?
Well, as I say, equality is important in Sweden, so it's about women rights.
Mhm.
It's about freedom of speech, and it's about, in general, they see religion as something backward and something which teaches us to hate each other, division. So we have to explain that now religion is about peace. So they have this, they bring this connection between religion and hatred and intolerance. So that is the question's foundation. So we have to answer that. So the general, and also we are, it's like us against the media. So they read the media and they ask the questions to us. So I think what they read about, they ask questions.
Yeah, I
That
see.
often happen. Now, our latest tour, we visited 5 cities along the E4, between Stockholm and Gothenburg, and we had a huge response from media and the general public. I think more than 20 media outlets covered our journey. So, and also the general public took great interest. So we did this in order to ease the tensions after the burnings of the copies of the Holy Quran in these areas. So even many Muslims came, and we explained to them that you have the same freedoms to make a wise response, rather than we should not accept that people do violent acts in response to this. So we try to inform about Swedish laws and tell the people that our religion teaches us that you should be obedient citizen of any society within which you live in.
As I understand, that is also one of the main messages of one of the main principles of the Ahmadiyya Islam, like Ahmadiyya Muslim communities around the world, not only in Sweden but also, let's say, in Canada or in Africa or Latin America, is to how to say, always to encourage the members to participate in their local societies, to contribute to the welfare of the countries where they are living, and to be good, let's say, on their personal
Yes.
levels, let's say. Okay.
So that is the teaching of Islam. The Holy Quran says, "Hal jazaul ihsan illa ihsan," that you should respond to a good act with another good act. So when these countries have given us all the freedoms and opportunities, so we should not only avail them, but we should use them to give back to society. I remember one member giving an interview said that I am planning to go to Canada, but before that I will pay 300,000 to 400,000 kroner in tax, but because that was the money which this country spent on me when I came here as an asylum seeker. So I will give that back to society and then move forward. So we have this feeling that you have to give back to the society, absolutely. And I think all people coming here should reason in this sense, that we should give something to society rather than taking from it.
Understand. I think that's a very important way of thinking, a very important deed to show that you are committed to improving both yourself and the society where you are, where you are residing, where you're living. So, all right. So I'm very happy that we were able to have this talk.
Thank you.
It's not every day you meet.
Always nice to meet you, Nathan, and I'm grateful that you came over. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shukriya.
Shukriya. Let's see.